People imagine a bunker as the end of fear, a concrete womb, a fortress against the world. They picture themselves closing a steel door, turning a wheel lock, and finally feeling untouchable. But collapse doesn't reward imagination, it punishes misunderstanding. Your bunker isn't a sanctuary. It's a starting point for a new kind of danger. The blackout had stretched into its second week when you made the decision to seal the hatch. The city above was collapsing, fires in the distance, violence echoing through alleyways, and a grid that showed no signs of returning. The bunker seemed like the smartest move. But the first thing you learn underground is that silence becomes louder than noise. The hum of ventilation, the distant groan of settling concrete, your own breathing, all of it amplifies into a constant reminder that you're trapped inside a metal box. And then comes the second truth. Bunkers are built for storage, not for time. You sit on the narrow cot, surrounded by cans stacked to the ceiling, but none of it feels comforting. Supplies are a countdown. Every meal you take is one you can't replace. Every sip of water pushes you towards scarcity. The air feels heavy. Not dangerous yet, but different. You check the CO2 monitor for the third time in an hour. The numbers creep higher. The bunker was designed for storms, not long-term habitation. Ventilation needs power, and power needs fuel. Fuel that dwindles faster than you expected. You thought the danger was outside, the chaos, the cold, the desperate crowds. But down here, the danger shifts shape. It becomes psychological. It becomes chemical. It becomes mathematical. You lie in the dim light, listening to the quiet pulse of the bunker's systems, and the thought hits you with cold clarity. A bunker doesn't save you. It delays your awareness of how unprepared you really are. Above you, the world breaks apart. Below, you begin to understand that safety has an expiration date. On the second day underground, you notice it. The air feels warmer, heavier, slightly sour. Not enough to panic, but enough to make you sit up and listen. Bunkers promise safety from the outside world, but they rarely tell you that your own breathing becomes the enemy. You check the CO2 monitor again. Numbers rise slowly, but steadily. The ventilation fan spins, but weakly, its hum uneven. The generator that powers it drinks diesel faster than you predicted. You run the math. At this rate, you have maybe 4 days before the air becomes unsafe. You would imagine the bunker as a sealed refuge. But sealed spaces kill. Human lungs convert oxygen into carbon dioxide, and without proper exchange, the atmosphere turns poisonous. The walls protect you from collapse, but also trap you with the consequences of your own existence. You strip the generator down, hoping to stretch its runtime. You clean the filter, tighten screws, and pour the last of the stabilizer into the tank. But the truth gnaws at you. Machines are honest. They do exactly what their fuel allows. No more, no less. By evening, you feel a dull pressure behind your eyes. A subtle headache. Early symptoms. You open the emergency manual and it confirms your fear. CO2 poisoning begins quietly. Impaired judgment. Slow thinking. Fatigue. Panic disguised as lethargy. You try to stay calm. Panic forces faster breathing. Faster breathing accelerates the problem. Above you, footsteps echo faintly. Someone moving across the ground level. You freeze. The bunker gives safety from people, but it also paralyzes you with helplessness. You can't see who's out there. You can't respond. You can't flee. You can only wait. As the night deepens, another truth settles in your mind. The bunker protects you from threats you can see, but exposes you to the ones you can't. You turn off the lights to conserve power. Darkness fills the bunker instantly, thick and absolute. You exhale slowly, aware that even this breath contributes to the countdown. The bunker feels smaller. The air feels thinner. And you realize the harsh reality. A bunker is only safe if the air inside it is. By the third day, scarcity stops being an abstract idea and becomes something you feel in your bones. Your stomach tightens, not from hunger, but from calculation. Every can you open pushes you closer to the edge. You thought a bunker full of supplies equaled security, but supplies are finite, predictable, unchangeable. In collapse, the world above is chaotic, but chaos has opportunity. Down here, there is none. You take inventory again, even though you did it yesterday. And the day before. Counting doesn't change the numbers, but it gives your mind something mechanical to hold on to. Water becomes the new obsession. Not the bottles stacked in crates, but the ones you've already used. Where does the waste go? How long before you have to choose between hygiene and hydration? The bunker's manual promised filtration, but filtration requires electricity, and electricity requires fuel you no longer have. You try rationing. Smaller meals. Less water. But the human body isn't a machine you can throttle at will. Fatigue creeps in. Thinking becomes slower. The bunker seems colder, despite the stale air. Scarcity affects more than your health. It affects your judgment. You start making small mistakes. Misplacing tools. Forgetting times. Staring at nothing for long stretches. These are symptoms of confinement and malnutrition. You know that. But knowing doesn't stop the process. And then you hear it. Something hitting the ground level. Not footsteps. Something closer. Metallic. Like someone trying the outer hatch. Your pulse spikes. Instinct tells you to go silent, to stay invisible. But another instinct pushes against it. You are trapped. They are not. Scarcity plays both sides. Those outside fight for resources. Those inside fight for the illusion of having enough. You grip a pry bar, knowing it's useless if someone comes in. The bunker wasn't built to fight people. It was built to wait out storms, not human desperation. The noise fades eventually. You unclench your jaw, breathing slowly through your nose to conserve oxygen. The air tastes stale again. The bunker was supposed to remove danger. Instead, it concentrates it into one place. Your place. Physical threats are predictable. Structural threats are measurable. But psychological threats, those are the ones that unmake survivors. By the fourth day underground, the bunker stops feeling like a shelter and starts feeling like a narrowing hallway. Every sound echoes too much. Every silence lasts too long. You wake up sweating, unsure if you slept an hour or 5 minutes. Time loses structure. Isolation doesn't just make you lonely, it makes you unstable. The walls close in subtly. Your brain begins inventing motion in the corners of your vision. Shadows stretch. Shapes shift. Not because the bunker is haunted, but because the mind, starved of stimulus, begins to generate its own. You try to distract yourself, reading labels on cans, checking the generator, reorganizing shelves. But all tasks feel repetitive, hollow. Every completed action reminds you of everything you can't do down here. Then you hear it. A faint scraping sound, like fingertips running across metal. You freeze. It lasts 3 seconds. Then silence. Was it real? Was it your own breathing? You wait, heart pounding. The sound doesn't return. This is how isolation erodes logic. You force yourself to sit still, to breathe slowly. But the bunker amplifies everything. Your heartbeat becomes thunder in your ears. The stale air tastes metallic. Your thoughts turn dark, recursive. Above you, life continues. Chaotic, dangerous, but alive. Down here, you are safe from the world, but exposed to yourself. You check the CO2 levels again. Rising. Not critical yet, but high enough to fog your thinking. High enough to blur the line between fear and hallucination. A bunker's walls can resist shockwaves, fire, even bullets. But they cannot resist the human mind under pressure. You understand now why bunker survival manuals always devote more pages to psychology than to equipment. Underground living breaks people faster than starvation. Faster than dehydration. Faster than cold. You sit against the wall, hands on your knees, inhaling shallow breaths. It's not danger that scares you now. It's the knowledge that you're no longer sure what danger looks like. On the 5th day, the generator coughs twice, sputters, and falls silent. The fan stops. The bunker doesn't immediately become dangerous, but the clock begins. Without ventilation, the air thickens rapidly. Heat clings to your skin. Your chest tightens. Even the light feels heavier. You try restarting the generator, priming the fuel line, checking the intake, even tapping the housing out of desperation. Nothing. Your plan depended on a machine that doesn't care about your survival. You switch to emergency power, dim LED strips fueled by a small battery. Enough for hours, not days. Shadows swallow half the bunker. Your water supply is still adequate, but your air supply is not. And in collapse, water scarcity kills in days. Air scarcity kills in hours. You consider opening the hatch. But what waits above? A burned city? Looters? Smoke? You can't know. And uncertainty is its own form of paralysis. The manual warns against opening the door while CO2 levels are elevated. Fresh oxygen rushes in, you inhale too fast, you faint. But staying inside guarantees slow poisoning. You pace the bunker, breath shortening. The psychological strain intensifies. Every instinct wars with every calculation. Fight or flight means nothing when both are lethal. You press your ear to the hatch. The surface is cold. No footsteps. No voices. Only wind. Then you hear something you haven't heard since entering the bunker. Rain. Faint. Distant, but unmistakable. Rain means cleaner air outside. Lower particulate. Less smoke. Your bunker was built to keep the world out. But the world is also where oxygen lives, where water replenishes, where movement creates opportunity. Staying means death from within. Leaving means risk from without. You gather your pack, lighter, water filter, multi-tool, emergency blanket. The 11 items you always trusted more than concrete walls. You stand before the hatch, hand on the wheel lock, lungs tight, head light. For the first time since collapse began, the bunker feels unmistakably like a coffin. You inhale, steady your trembling fingers, and begin to turn the wheel. The hatch opens with a low metallic groan, and cold air floods in, sharp, wet, real. You gasp involuntarily as oxygen hits your bloodstream. The dizziness intensifies for a moment, then clears. You climb the ladder and emerge into a world shaped by collapse, but still alive. Rain falls through a sky bruised with smoke. Buildings smolder. Streets glisten. Wind carries the distant sound of shouting, but the chaos is filtered through the downpour. You step out, letting the bunker seal behind you. Above ground, danger is everywhere, but so is possibility. You move quickly, keeping low between ruined walls, scanning intersections, listening carefully. Your mind sharpens instantly. Adrenaline replaces stagnation. Instinct returns. Every item in your pack now matters more than the bunker ever did. Your water filter turns rain into clean hydration. Your fire starter gives heat when the wind dies. Your blanket protects against exposure. Your multi-tool opens doors, cuts wires, repairs gear. Your knowledge keeps you alive. You realize the truth cleanly, with no hesitation. A bunker isn't a survival plan. It's a delay. It protects you from the first wave of collapse, but not from the long-term reality. The world above rewards movement, adaptability, resourcefulness. The world below punishes them. You walk through a burned-out neighborhood, watching smoke curl through broken windows. A group moves in the distance, silhouetted against the firelight. You avoid them, slipping through alleys, trusting your awareness more than steel doors. Every breath feels lighter. Every sound sharper. Every step faster. You survived the bunker, but not because of the bunker. You survived because you recognized when it stopped being safety and became a trap. As you climb a small hill overlooking the ruins of the city, the rain thins. The storm shifts. The air smells clean for the first time in days. You look back once, the bunker hatch barely visible, already fading into the landscape of collapse. It didn't save you. Your skills did. Your choices did. Your willingness to move did. The world has changed, and survival now belongs to those who understand one truth. Fortresses don't keep you alive. Adaptation does.